I thought I would take a moment to tell you a little bit about Touching Two Worlds integration. The new show that my friends and colleagues and I are putting together, it will take place on May 3rd and May 4th at the Luminary Arts Center here in Minneapolis. I am really, really honored to be part of this project. It is a project that I think tells an incredibly important story about what it means to be human. It follows these three internal characters: the mind, the soul, and the body, and identifies their unique traits, what each of them are, and what they bring to this experience of being alive. And then the show talks about or explores the ways that those entities become in conflict with each other, or disharmony, disunion, and what happens in a human when we don't trust our bodies, or when we don't believe in the value of our soul, when we overemphasize or put too much pressure on the functioning of our mind. What happens when those relationships break? And then, of course, how do we put them back together? Because we all, I think, in our human journey are living in various levels of harmony and disharmony in our inner world. There are parts of us that we trust or don't trust. There are parts that we listen to and don't listen to. So the show is really about how to have good relationships with the cast of characters that live inside of you, that are you. Of course, this deep human sort of philosophical, psychological approach is told through the art of circus. And the artists, myself included, we kind of offer our bodies as the storytelling mechanism and offer them as an invitation to the member of the audience to sort of join with us in our feeling and our experience and our expression. And I love circus for many reasons, because it inspires awe, but it also has a deep intimacy. When you really watch a human body in its struggle, in its accomplishment, in its mastery of a certain kind of movement. This is the second show that my co-producer, Lynn Lunny, and I are doing together. The first one we did in 2022, and that was kind of built around the launch of my book, Touching Two Worlds. That show was really about the union between joy and grief. And we told the stories of our brothers, my brother Dave, Lynn's brother Mark, both of whom we lost to suicide. And we used circus to explore what human health looks like, what human brokenness looks like, and what grief looks like. And there are a few things that I've been part of in my life that I'm as proud of as working on that show. And I have similar expectations for the next show, because I've learned a lot about what it means to put together something like this. Lynn and I have learned a lot in working together. And I also really deeply believe in the power of these collective experiences, of bringing people together and not just seeing a video of someone doing a cool performance, but really creating a space, an emotional experience in the room that helps everyone in the room feel the same sort of waves of emotion and insight in a similar timeline. We're all in it together. We sort of rise with the wave and fall with the wave. And I think there's something really uniquely powerful and, dare I say, healing about these experiences that invite us into an intimacy with ourselves, and then also an intimacy with a whole room full of people. One of the things that I am really especially excited about this show is that my colleagues at Emerge Therapy, my dear long friend, Dr. Liz Vogt, has helped me put together a continuing education course for licensed psychologists, licensed social workers, licensed therapists in the state of Minnesota who can come to the show and then participate in a panel discussion and get continuing education units from those state boards in service of their licensure. So I think that is super cool, because don't you want to go to a circus for your continuing education units? I think it's a great way to spend a Friday night, as opposed to like watching a slide deck in a hotel ballroom. But the thing that I'm also really excited about and really honored about is that we get to engage the community of mental health professionals about something that I think is extraordinarily important, and that is the integration of the body and movement into our practice of mental health care. If you have seen my TED Talk or followed my work for any period of time, you'll know that this is a cornerstone idea to me. It's one of the things that I value most in the world and is often left out of the conversation around mental health. We do therapy in therapy rooms or increasingly over Zoom, but we're sitting still and we're talking face to face, and it's very cognitive. It's very word oriented. And I deeply value that. It is what my practice looks like as well. But I think there's a both and when we can bring in more movement, more emotional expression that comes in through our bodies, and really honor the wisdom of the body as part of our healing practice. And so this event offers the opportunity for us as circus artists to model that, to say, this is how I tell my stories. Not just with words, but also with expression and movement and with my body. And so I'm hoping will give mental health professionals a little bit more of a framework for how the body is a narrative agent, how it tells stories, and how we can use that in our practice of supporting people in their healing. So that event will have the opportunity to see a show, and then we'll have a panel discussion with a number of leaders in this field of movement and healing. And we'll be able to have the experiential component in being in the show, and then the analysis, learning, thought process of being able to talk through the theoretical and the clinical application of this kind of experience. Of course, these collective experiences only matter if the collective comes, if people are there. We're going big this year. There are actually 3 performances. One is the continuing education opportunity that is for licensed professionals. And then there are 2 performances for the general public. And it's a big undertaking. And of course, my worst fear as an artist and as a performer is that nobody cares, nobody comes. And so, I ask for forgiveness in advance, but most of my social media posts, I think, over the next few months will be about this process of inviting people into this experience. And I would really love for you to be there, for you to be in the room, to experience a number of the artists who have been my teachers and inspiration over time, who I've practiced with and trained with, and who have really taught me in my own healing process. We have some amazing visiting artists come in. We have Anya coming in. She is the co-creative director of Paper Doll Militia, which is a really well-established aerial arts community and trains a lot of aerial teachers. So I'm just over the moon excited to have Rain join us. We also have Saffron van Rossem, who is coming in for the show. She runs Circus with Purpose and often hosts retreats with Rain at Paper Doll Militia. So Saffron, I got to spend 2 weeks together with her and her team in Nicaragua putting on a different show, the Circus with Purpose show. And I just think the world of her as a creator. And she's someone who is thinking a lot about bringing sort of therapeutic process into circus art. And of course, my co-producer, my coach, my dear friend, Lynn Lunny, has her hands in all of this. None of this would be possible without her. And she is a long-standing professional who's coached many of us who have come up in the circus world in the Twin Cities. And she herself is just an exquisite performer. And I can't wait to be able to offer the beauty of her work to everyone who comes to the show. So please come. Please join us. Come with an open heart. Come with curiosity. We think we are creating something, dare I say, quite extraordinary that is unlike other things that you could be doing on a Friday or Saturday night. It will be both delightful and fun and beautiful and all of the things that circus is, but also I hope something that really speaks to the depths of you in terms of the meaning that it offers and the sense of courage and wholeness that we want to share with you as part of the audience. If you can't come, there's still a way for you to participate. We have a sponsor and acrobat program, which allows us, we really are trying to pay our performers top dollar. That's a bit tricky in the economy of shows. So we're hoping to have a couple of donors, a lot of donors, offer a $500 donation in which we will use that to pay performers as well as we can. And then also we'll donate some tickets to other artists in the community. There's an organization called Vivid Black Paint, which is for BIPOC artists who are interested in circus and other performing arts. And we love to give as many tickets as we can to that community. We also work with another organization called She Climbs Mountains, which is an organization for girls who have lost their mothers, and then they are partnered with adult women who have also lost their mothers. So it's an organization that helps soothe grief by partnership and mentoring. And this is an activity that we have partnered in with them before, and we'd love to welcome a bunch of them to the show. So if you can't be present yourself, please consider the Sponsor an Acrobat program. Allow some tickets to be given to people in the community who may not otherwise be able to afford them, and allow us to pay our performers a little bit better because we really love and appreciate them and really just want to honor the artists that they are.